I, a female, nearly adult, live with my parents. I have an older sister, 29, that my parents had when they were super young. Like, I think my mom was 19 and my dad was 18. They didn't do a great job with her and she has a lot of problems. She is chronically unemployed and she is a thief. She has 2 kids that are okay. They also live with us because her boyfriend didn't want them around. I like the kids, but they're spoiled little brats my parents dote on to make up for being crappy parents to their mom. My parents won't let me put a lock on my door because it's their house and they don't want that. No problem. I talked to the kids and explained what would happen if they entered my room without permission. We have an understanding. Well, my sister broke up with her boyfriend and she needed a place to stay. I begged my parents not to let her stay with us. They declined, so I begged again for a lock for my door. No dice. I have to go to school, so I can only guard my stuff sometimes. When I came home on Friday, I found my car absolutely trashed and the side of it destroyed. My sister had gone into my room, found my spare key, and taken my car. I have a security cam and I have evidence. Then lost control on the ice after a day of eating crap and tossing fast food wrappers everywhere. She sideswiped a tree. When I saw my car, I was livid. I told my parents that I expected her to pay to fix it. They said she didn't have any money. So I said that I would call my grandparents. They helped me get the car and insurance. After talking with my grandfather, I returned to talk with my parents. I said the insurance would cover fixing or replacing my car depending on the damage, but that I would have to file a police report, and that my sister would probably be charged for stealing my car. They begged me to tell insurance that she had permission. I said nope. So rather than go through insurance, they're replacing my car, but they're using money that they'd set aside to take my nieces and me to Orlando next summer for my graduation. It's fine, I can do without seeing Disney World again, but my parents, sister and nieces are upset with me and saying that I'm an idiot for denying my nieces the opportunity to go on a vacation they have never had. I just asked them if a lock for my door would have been cheaper. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and you still need a lock. But curious as to if your parents even know about the security cam. Totally don't blame you for getting one, but just checking, because if they don't allow you a lock, they might not permit a security camera. Those aren't really related in her parents' minds. A camera doesn't allow her to be alone with a boy or get away with smoking or something. Play stupid games and win stupid prizes. Your parents could go the cheaper route and send your sister to jail for grand theft and teach her they won't always bail her out. Then no ruined vacation either. They're all wrong. It's not your fault that the vacation is no longer a possibility. Your sis was the cause of that, enabled by your parents. They can all blame themselves. Honestly, I don't think your sister will learn her lesson until she faces direct consequences like prison. It could be the best thing for her in the long run. Get therapy, a GED, or just learn that being a lying, entitled twit will get you pummeled in the cafeteria. It could be a positive for her going forward. If they began to raise their 29-year-old, she might actually grow up in her 30s. OP, tell your parents. Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I think that we should just report it to the police and let the chips fall where they may. After all, sister did steal my car, and you are right that it's not fair to nieces to miss the trip because sister decided to break your trust and the law. And the last thing I want is to be responsible for my nieces missing out, so let's just report it to the police. While I understand families deciding to handle situations like this within the family rather than reporting it to the authorities, that is dependent on the wrongdoer being genuinely sorry for their mistake. But your sister isn't sorry, not even a little. Otherwise, she would recognize that her choice took the trip away from her children and not be constantly trying to guilt or blame you. Update. Hey, I just got home from school. There's a deadbolt on my bedroom door, and my mom gave me a key. She says that she's keeping the other one for emergencies. I agreed as long as it was only for emergencies, and I showed my sister the video of her stealing my car keys. She knows I'm not kidding about making a police report. I, female 40s, live with my husband 40s and our daughter Laura, teen. I have a niece, Kelly, 26. I'm quite close with my siblings and their children, but in recent years I haven't seen much of Kelly as she's moved to another city that's around 3 hours away. Kelly has been around more often with the holidays coming up, and a few days ago I hosted a family dinner, and she came along. The next day, I got a phone call from Kelly. She's furious and tells me that Laura had stolen her AirPods. I asked her what the heck she was talking about, and she said that she had her AirPods in her handbag in our dining room and now her AirPods were gone. She said that Laura was acting suspicious and being guilty. I hadn't noticed anything, but there was a bit of an unrelated drama at the dinner, so I was distracted. I told Kelly I'd talk to Laura and then call her back. I talked to Laura. She immediately denies stealing the AirPods. She said she'd been nowhere near Kelly's handbag and that it's not like she doesn't have her own headphones. I can usually tell when Laura is lying, and she's never stolen things in the past, so I'm likely to believe her. I know I'm biased because she's my daughter, but I know her very well. I called Kelly back a few hours later and told her that I didn't know what happened to them, but Laura had definitely not stolen her AirPods. Kelly insisted that Laura stole her AirPods and told me my husband and I must buy her a replacement. I told Kelly that that's just not the case and that I'm sure they'll turn up. Kelly even told all our extended family that Laura stole her thing and that she's a liar and a thief, and I'm enabling it. The day after that, I got a text from Kelly telling me that she'd found her AirPods and that they were in her car the whole time. Kelly seemed to think it was really funny, but I told her that I really didn't appreciate that she jumped straight to calling my daughter a thief when she misplaced her own AirPods. I told Kelly she wasn't welcome back in my home after the stunt she's pulled. Kelly got really upset and accused me of trying to cut her out of the family and being too harsh on her. So now my siblings are mad at me for banning Kelly from my house and saying I'm being horrible and bullying her. So am I the idiot? Not the idiot. An adult woman accused her teen cousin without hesitation. She just automatically went for the jugular without any proof. She should be embarrassed, and the family members letting her behaviour slide are idiots as well. Also, you can track the AirPods on Find My app. I wouldn't want her in my home after what she did. Why would you welcome someone into your home who accused your daughter of stealing? She turns her unfounded accusation into a full-blown family drama, only to find out they'd misplaced the item and treat it all as a joke. No thanks, you're just protecting your family from another incident. A public, heartfelt apology to OP's daughter is barely the beginning if Kelly wants to make amends. No, public apologies serve to make a show for others, not to make right or wrong. Kelly needs to make a direct personal apology to OP's daughter and publicly retract her accusations and maligning of her daughter. I could be very wrong, but I have a feeling Kelly just wanted to find someone to replace her lost AirPods. After all, without proof, why would she immediately think Laura took them and not ask if she left them there? Laura's also an easier target, being a teen. I, 31 male, have about $67,000 in debt between college, my car, and a little bit on my credit card. I've been making monthly payments on all of them, but it would still be many decades before I'm debt-free. My fiancée, 29 female, is relatively debt-free. This wasn't always the case. She got a few scholarships to help with college, but still had to take out a few loans to finish things up. She had to get a new car because the old one was cursed and was in more accidents while parked than we can count. And she did go through a manic period and almost ran up her credit card in her early 20s shopping so much. However, she spent a lot of time getting her finances in order, worked multiple side gigs on top of her normal job, which I commend her for, and now is debt-free except for her mortgage. She makes many extra payments and has almost $300,000 in investments, savings, etc. I'm very proud of her for everything she's accomplished. Now that we're engaged, we're planning on moving in together. She had a roommate we had to wait for the lease to end before I could move in, and she said before the wedding she wanted me to be debt-free. We chose a date 3 years from now since some of our family is out of the country and needs to save, so it will be our 7th anniversary, our favourite number. She pulled out a spreadsheet of my debts and pointed out how if I put all of my paychecks, minus maybe $200 a month for fun money, into paying off my debt, I'll be debt-free by the wedding. She would cover everything else: the mortgage, food, bills, insurance, our pets, vacations, date nights, etc. We could then both aggressively save for that last bit of time for a nice honeymoon and, after that, focus a good amount of our funds on taking out the mortgage and getting my own savings up to snuff. I thought about it for a day or so and came back with this counteroffer. She would pay off my debts and I would pay her back in a year and a half, since I wouldn't also have to be paying interest. We would put a bigger dent in the mortgage and still stick to the timeline. She seemed unhappy with this and said she would have to think about it first. I casually mentioned it to my friends over a beer to get another perspective, and they said I'm the idiot. They would do anything to have her 2 years offer to get debt-free, and even if I paid her back, I'd still be taking a fifth of her savings for a year and a half. So I'm here for judgment. Am I the idiot? Wow, you are the idiot. You're an entitled idiot for not accepting her very generous offer and expecting her to do even more. Your counteroffer is laughable, and she would be an idiot if she agreed to it. Chances he would bail right after she pays his debts off? High or very high? Or he would say, "She's always lording it over my head that I need to make my monthly payment or doesn't understand why I skipped it. We'll be married soon, and our money should be exactly that, our money, so why should I pay myself back?" Or other BS nonsense. Agreed. I'd be telling her to cancel the wedding if she was my relative or friend. She can be so much further ahead without OP's dead weight. It'd be different if OP was humble and felt inspired to find ways on his own, also to help pay down his own debt faster. It reeks of a selfish lack of accountability to sit there and try to poke holes in her plan because it doesn't include immediately paying off his debt. It's your debt, not hers, and your debt payback plan is the weird one, not hers. I, 27 male, am the owner of a property that was formerly my grandpa's home. My grandpa was a farmer and he had this awesome property built whenever my mom and her sisters were in high school. This was the family home. My grandpa built a giant garage onto it, which my cousins have used as a reception hall for the last few years for their weddings. When my grandma died, my grandpa and I started hanging out more, and I worked at the property since I was little. I'm the only grandson he had. All my cousins on my mom's side are girls. In 2018, my grandpa passed away and he left the property to me. This caused a bunch of drama in the family, but I know exactly why my grandpa did it. My grandpa was not a perfect person. He was very old-fashioned. He hated divorce and was very traditional. His beliefs clashed with his daughters. He wanted to hand his farm down to a son. He didn't have any, and none of my aunts married the type of dudes he liked, so I became the de facto option. My grandpa especially disliked how my aunts were in their relationships because he preached commitment. On the other hand, that man loved and was loyal to my grandma. My cousin, 28 female, is getting married this fall. While at my parents' house, my aunt goes, "Well, the reception will be at the house." I told her nobody had talked to me yet. She said that since every other cousin had had their reception there, it should be a tradition. I said sure, but they all asked me and I wanted them there. Unfortunately, her daughter didn't ask me and I don't support the wedding. It's a legit reason. This is my cousin's second wedding. I'm not even close with her. We differ politically, so I have her muted on social media. I didn't even know she was engaged. This cousin and I hardly speak. Also, this is her second marriage. She cheated on her first husband with this dude who was also married. My grandpa would never approve of that or want that on his property. Also, I would have to be involved in the setup and cleanup if it's at the house. I don't care to sacrifice my time. If she wants to rent the property and my time, she can pay me a premium for the short notice, but I'm not doing it for free. I explained this all to my aunt and my cousin. They both threw a fit and tried having my mom talk to me. She tried pulling the family card and guilting me about my cousin having no money. I said my cousin had no money because of her divorce. It's a sham wedding and her dad wouldn't support it, and she knows that. There was a reason that her dad didn't entrust the property to his own kids. I said all my other cousins have been good people, so I was willing to help. But this cousin and aunt are rude. My mom said I wouldn't be invited to Christmas most likely then. I said, okay, find another venue while you're at it. The house is the hangout spot for Christmas. My dad is calling me an idiot, but I need an impartial judgment. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here. You suck for using your grandpa's misogynistic and bigoted views as an excuse for not wanting your family to use your home. And if you agree with his views, you're the idiot for that too. Your aunt sucks for just expecting you to be okay with having a wedding and reception at your house without asking. Your mom sucks for thinking she can just uninvite you to a gathering in your own home. At this point, your whole family needs help. I agree up until the point where OP mentions that the cousin getting married is wedding her affair partner. I think that's a legitimate thing to shame. Screw cheaters. That's a good enough reason to deny their use alone. OP can be an idiot for his views on marriage, gender roles, etc., but not the idiot for the specific situation at hand in denying his entitled, crappy family member use of his property. He can be both. Disagree. OP, you are the idiot, though your family is acting a bit entitled. You have the right to use the property how you want, and tell people they can't use it or have to pay to use it. However, this is am I the idiot, not do I have the legal right. You got your property because your grandfather appeared to have regressive misogynistic views, not because you did anything worthy of attaining it. You seem to have carried on these viewpoints and additionally seem to be relishing in turning the screws on your family instead of playing ball, extra money for short notice plus labour like it's a true reception venue. In most circumstances, they would be idiots for expecting a free venue, but that is trumped by your behaviour and bigotry here. The fact that your grandfather wouldn't have wanted that doesn't matter because he's dead now, and frankly he sounds like a jerk, at least in terms of some of his views. I can't imagine anybody hateful enough to disinherit his children over such stupid, trivial things, effectively. Maybe they inherited something else from him, but I doubt it was worth anywhere near what the property was. I, 35 male, have a daughter pre-tween and a son tween with my ex-wife. I recently got engaged to my fiancée, 23 female. 2 days ago was my son's birthday. The kid stayed with me, but unfortunately I had to go to another city for work and couldn't spend the day with him. This also happened for my daughter's birthday a few years ago, so I let them go to their mom's home because I didn't want her to be alone for her birthday. Well, my fiancé suggested spending the day with the kids this year, and I thought it would be a good idea. They like her, and it's a good chance to bond with her even more, so why not? From what I heard, the kids enjoyed it. However, my ex is really angry. She called me an idiot because she thought the kids should have spent the day with her, not my fiancé. Then she blew up at me and said many rude things about me and my fiancé. I think she's being unreasonable because it was the kids' time with me, so I get to decide what to do, not her. You are the idiot. It was the kids' time with you and you weren't there. Given it was your son's birthday, you should have checked with the ex to see if she wanted to spend time with him that day. Put your kids first. Would you think a kid would like to spend their birthday getting to know someone new, or with another parent who knows their interests and can make their birthday special? Did you ask your son how he wanted to spend his birthday since it was technically your time with them and you were not available to be with them? He's old enough to decide something like that. You definitely should have asked him if you didn't. I see why your ex is mad. You are an idiot and a crappy parent. When you can't spend time with your children, the biological mother comes next in line. Of course, that's also in the interest of the children.